to amend or revise the Constitution, will it be with the Senate and the House voting separately or jointly?
Well, Mr. Justice, as we know, again, that is one of the editorial lapses that happened in the 1987
Correct.
Constitution.
Correct.
And Representative Tupas is fully aware of these lapses. No? If you ask me, I think that the more prudent interpretation would be that they should vote separately, because that will go hand in hand with the other provisions in the Constitution. If I'm not mistaken, there is only one provision which calls for both houses voting jointly, and that's in Article 7, Section 18, I think, in respect of martial law. So it would seem that the intent of the framers is to have a separate voting. But once again, this is one of those editorial lapses that we should amend, so that no more issues in respect of who will get to sit in the JBC will need to be addressed in the future.
In other words, you agree with Father Bernas that in order to solve the problem, the amendment should first be taken up by the House and later to be approved by the Senate.
Not necessarily.
Would that be feasible?
Not necessarily, Justice, in the sense that I think both houses, both the House of Representatives and the House of the Senate, should take it up independently, but not necessarily the House first and then the Senate. They can take it up together.
Dean, let's go to a subject which is nearer home, closer to home. The City of Manila Ordinance Number City of Manila Ordinance Number 8027 reclassified parts of Pandacan from industrial to commercial zones, thus mandating that Filipinas Shell, Chevron, and Petron to transfer their operations elsewhere. Those opposing the transfer argue that the transfer would disrupt oil supply and cause an increase in oil prices. The Pandacan Oil Depot supplies 1/2 of the country's fuel demand and 100% of lubricant requirements. The transfer would result in the loss of jobs of hundreds of thousands, not only the big three, but also of Unilever, Finco, etc., which would have been forced to move out of the city. The City of Manila would lose 66 million yearly in revenue if the transfer is pursued. Yet those who want the transfer argue that the oil depot poses a danger to life and limb and the safety and health of Manila residents. It might cause a disaster and devastation, a devastation worse than that of Typhoon Sindong, caused by Typhoon Sindong. By the time you reach the position of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, if and when you will be appointed, the issues involved here will still be ripe for discussion and resolution. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Before you answer that, the Dean may just remind Justice Hermosissima, sir, that will be your last question. Your time is up. That will be your last question, or you're going to ask another question after the answer of Dean Bautista?
Well, I hope you'll give me more time.
We'll just allow you another question after this, after the answer of Dean Bautista.
If that's your wish.
Go ahead then. I'm sorry, you got, and then you go now answer the question of the Justice.
Although, with that question, Justice, I really feel like now a law student being asked to recite. Wala po bang multiple choice? A, B, C? No, seriously though, this is a multifaceted problem. As we know, it's not just legal issues that are in play, but there are also financial and economic implications. There are employment, livelihood, opportunities that also must be taken into account. These are the things that I think that the Supreme Court should really consult with other stakeholders whenever they make decisions in respect of matters of paramount or transcendental importance. And here, if I may add, this is where I think I have a bit of disagreement. No? In respect of the power of the court to settle actual controversies involving rights which are legally demandable and enforceable, and to determine whether or not there has been grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction on the part of any branch or instrumentality of government. This is Article 8, Section 1. I think that the court has swung too much on the other side. That during the time of President Marcos, the complaint was the court was too timid, was too differential to the executive. I think, though, after this provision was inserted by Chief Justice Concepcion in the 87 Constitution, the court has become too aggressive, has been intruding in matters over which it probably does not have the necessary expertise. So if you ask me, I think that the court should strike a right balance. Again, that the political question doctrine is still alive. As far as I'm concerned, there are certain matters that are best left to other agencies of government. That is the kind of philosophy that I would expound. And if you ask me, I think we should amend Article 8, Section 1. We should take out that grave abuse power and just bring it back to the original, because that alone gives the court already the important power of judicial review, and hopefully send a signal to the court that it will be able to re-examine its role within our constitutional framework.
I was hoping you will answer my question.
Well, my answer,
You answered it indirectly.
yes, Mr. Justice, as I said, the problem is that there are many factors and variables that you really have to study in the situation that you had mentioned. I think that it would be difficult for me to give you a off-the-hip gut feel answer. I think, though, that as you had pointed out, these issues should be reviewed, and that we should speak and consult with the other players so that we can come up with an informed judgment regarding the case.
Last question, Justice.
The tremendous inherent power in the hands of the Chief Justice and the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court require that those appointed to the position should possess the highest degree of competence, integrity, and judicial prudence, because the administration of justice is a sacred task entrusted only to individuals with the highest degree of competence. A judicial post is a position of honor and is offered only to those who are best qualified. Considering this, if you are appointed Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, what would be your judicial philosophy?
Well, I think I had provided a bit of a preview of that philosophy. As I said, I think that the court should rethink its role in light of the constitutional framework as well as also in light of the current